Praise the Lord. How are you? How has your day been? My name is Cynthia. This is my channel. You're welcome here. You're welcome every day to view videos from me. There are videos about the Word of God and videos to help us in our issues of life. So today we are going to talk about how to deal with the death of a loved one. I know you have clicked this video because you've been hurting inside of you. You've found it so hard to let go of maybe a parent, or to let go of a child that died, or to let go of a friend, a close friend that died. We all have different kind of pains in our hearts that have been caused by loss of a loved one. So I understand you. That's the first thing that you should know is I'm making this video because I have gone through that pain that you're going through right now, and I have the courage to speak to you about it. Because where would I get the courage to talk about loss of a loved one without crying if the Lord would have not healed my heart? So first of all, we thank God for healing my heart, because for many years I mourned the death of someone so close to me. And I went through a lot of pain, a lot of bitterness, a lot of heartaches, a lot of overthinking, and just feeling their presence all around me because of their death. And it's so funny because people who have never lost a loved one, they never understand. They don't have the insight, so don't blame them. They can never understand. So you can find that if you have a friend who has parents, they may be talking about, my parent this, my parent that, my dad that, my mom that, and they never know the pain, the wounds in your heart that they're just reopening afresh. The pains that you struggle with, only your pillow understands, and the bathroom where you go to bathe and cry. It is the water from the shower that understands the pain inside of your heart. And so for some people who have lost their spouses, you can have a friend who will talk about, my spouse this, my spouse that, my husband this, my wife that. And for you, you have lost a wife, or you've lost a husband who their presence continues to live inside of you. The only problem is you can't hold them in the physical. You in the physical, there's no hope for any other relationship between you and them. The world continues normally, but you can't seem to find them. Inside of your heart they live. They speak to you, you speak to them. You can even be alone and you're talking to your father, and at times, when you speak to your father or your mother who has died, the Holy Spirit answers you and you feel the conversation moving. At times you even look around just to find out if they're really there, but they're never there. So that's how painful it is. So if you have lost your loved one, you are in the right place, because I understand you. I understand the pain you've gone through, the tears you've shed. I have shed them for many years, close to 20, I think 20 years. And it's more painful when you lose someone unexpectedly. At least when they get sick for a long time, and then now they die in your hands, it gets to a point where you say, you know what, he needed to rest, or she needed to rest. So it takes you a shorter time to heal, yeah? But it's different when, like for example, the one for Kobe, the baseball player from the US, who had just left for a normal game, and then the plane crashed, and then I know the wife is living her life wishing Kobe will just be back, or feeling like Kobe will just be back. So that's what it feels to lose a loved one. You feel like they will be back. Inside of your heart, the heart is longing for them to be back. If it is a father, anytime you miss the love of a father, you feel they will just reappear, So it's painful. I understand what you went through, but what I can tell you is time heals, actually. So time heals, number one, but it never heals completely. Time can never heal you completely. People have told you, you know, you will heal with time. It doesn't happen like that. You will not heal completely. The only disappointing thing is only God can heal you. Imagine. Because I know of orphans who have seen, who are going through, you know, you may find a caregiver who is treating you well, who is doing their part perfectly well, but it is never the same as, you know, what your parent can give you. It's never the same. So you spend your years comparing your parent to them, or looking for your parent inside of them, looking for the love of a parent inside of them. You never get it. So I'm also sorry to disappoint you that even if you live, you lose a spouse and you get married again, never look for your late spouse from the new one. You will never get. If you lose a father and your mother remarries, never look for your father in this new man. You'll never get it, because some of these men who our mothers remarry actually end up raping the girls, you know, because you're not related to them. And if you look for your mother inside the, you know, when your mother dies and your dad remarries, that you can never find the love that you found in your mother from them. So I'm also sorry to disappoint you that you can't find that love from them. But the truth is, it gets better with time. So if you just lost a loved one, Cynthia is saying, be patient with yourself, allow yourself to feel the pain. It will go. With time, it will get better. I know you feel you have suicidal thoughts. You feel like you should kill yourself because you don't see life after them. But it is possible to live a life without parents, even without both parents. And when you are a patient person and you are aware of the fact that death has to occur, then imagine you can live a happy life even after the death of a parent or a spouse. Because accept the sheer pain of death, because it has to happen. Okay? So let's go ahead, so that, because I can talk much, this, you know, in this topic, I have a lot of answers on how to deal with pain. You only need to ask me questions on the comment sections below. You tell me I'm going through this, I'll be able to answer you, because I have cried, you know, I have been bitter, I have waited for the person who died to come back. They never came back, and I got over it. And then the love of God that surpasses all kind of love in this world came and filled my heart, and now I feel a lot of love being knowing that God loves me and God created me to love me. And despite everything that is going through in my life, that God created me to love me. And despite, you know, losing a loved one, life has to continue. You know, God created you on your own. When you came to this world, you came on your own. Your parent was just a caregiver, or your spouse was just a friend. But on your own, you can still survive. You can still make it. The fact that you're still alive, meaning that life has to continue. So I want to give you ways that I have used, and they can work to ease the pain and deal with the pain that you go through after losing your loved one. So before we go ahead, I want to tell you that I'm sorry for the pain that you've been going through. I want to tell you that I understand the pain that you go through. And I want to tell you that God loves you so much, and I love you so much, and I share in your pain. This is quite an emotional video. It is just that I have healed, and now I cannot cry in this video. But just know that the pain never goes away. It is always just in some place next to the heart, waiting to explode. So allow yourself to feel the pain. Never fight it. When you feel like you miss your parent, cry. When you feel like you miss your spouse, cry. When you feel like you miss your child, cry. You let yourself away and give yourself to pain. Let it tear you apart until when it's done, and then now you can, live your life normally. So if you want to work with me and find out what you can do to ease the pain, then let's go. So the first thing you can do is, I have said it, give yourself, to pain. Allow yourself to feel the pain. Okay? So don't fight it. Allow yourself to feel the pain. Whatever the pain, whichever way the pain leads you, go. If it wants you to cry, cry. If it wants you to express yourself, express yourself. The only thing that I advise you is don't go to alcohol and maybe relationships, because in fact when you've lost a spouse, I advise that you leave for some time without getting into another relationship, because you'll obviously be looking for your husband inside of that man, but you'll not find. The same way, if you lose your wife, don't date immediately. Find close friends who are ladies or men who are very close to you. Let them help you to heal. Let them help you to mourn your loved one until it gets to a point that the heart wants to fall in love again. Then you can fall in love again, because the Bible allows it. If you have lost a parent, allow yourself to feel the pain and be ready for the pain that you're going to go through. Just be ready. When your parent dies, especially when you are young, be ready for the pain. It's not going to be an easy ride. It's going to be a rough ride, because certain things are going to change. You're going to stay with relatives who will mistreat you, who will take you. Some even will, if you're a lady, relatives will sexually abuse you. Yeah, it will happen. And if you're a man, relatives will take you through child labor. You will do lots of work than what your parent will have made you to do. So be ready for such changes. If you are in a good school, probably they will take you to a lower school so that they can, take over your parents' money and property. So be ready for that. But that does not mean that you worry, because you're not going to be a child forever. You're not going to be dependent forever. Life is going to change. One day, just a short time, you'll be an adult. You'll be able to take care of yourself. You'll be able to work. And this pain, it is not forever. Some people even when they get married and they're told for better, for worse, they feel like it's forever, and they waste the love that they're supposed to share in that marriage, without knowing that it's not forever, because one person will die or both of you will die. It is until death do you part, and death can happen anytime. So I always tell people that don't get into marriage to waste time, or waste life, because when you waste 1 hour arguing and being moody and not talking about each other, you're wasting life. Because imagine if your relative was to be added just 1 hour of their life, just 1 hour of their life with you. If your parent was brought back just for 1 hour, it will be so great. Imagine, it will be so great having your parent or your spouse or your child just for 1 hour to tell them how you feel about their loss. So please don't waste your time. Because when you waste time, you waste life. Right? So the first thing that I've told you now to deal with pain is allow yourself to feel the pain. Do not fight it. If you want to cry, to scream, cry. Do not fight the pain. Do not be embarrassed of crying even as a man. Cry, weep, mourn your wife. If you're a man, don't be embarrassed, because that mourning will wash the pain in your heart. So that's the first way that you can use to deal with pain. Allow yourself to feel the pain. Okay? Step number 2, do something in remembrance of them. You can plant a tree. Okay? You can, plant a flower bed. You can make a good portrait and put in the house. You can, you can make a portrait that has all the memories that you share. And imagine you look at that portrait today and cry. Imagine after 10 years, you look at it and feel happy that because of the moments that you shared. So do something in remembrance of them. You can plant a tree, write on the tree when it grows up, in remembrance of mom, in remembrance of dad, so that as the trees grows, because like when you plant flowers, at times you can go and talk just to the flowers and you feel the love, because even nature has love. So when you plant flowers and you just go and sit in the midst of the flowers and you see how beautiful the flowers are, you feel the love of your parent, you feel your child growing up, and even when the summer comes and the flowers are dry, you share in the pain of the flowers withering, and when winter comes, you feel the love of the flowers blossoming again. So step number 2 is do something in remembrance of them. Number 3, do something that they loved doing. Okay, so like me, the person I lost loved exercise. As a young girl, I would show them exercise. So each time I go to exercise, even when I'm lifting weights or when I'm running, anytime when I run, I feel their presence with me. Even if I'm lifting weights, at times you feel the presence, and you can lift that weight even more than more than you could do it just not feeling the pain, because when you feel it, you continue doing it even faster, or lifting even heavier, and after that you've killed the flesh, you feel tired, you can't overthink after that. So do something they love doing. If they loved cooking, if they loved baking, do something they love doing. Anytime you do that, you'll be feeling their presence, because if for example it was your mother who loved baking, when you're baking, you'll remember the teaching she used to give you, the corrections when you're baking the cakes, the ideas, the tips, the hacks. So when you do that, it makes you feel their presence. At times you can remember a joke they made in the kitchen, whichever it is. Okay, if you like, you can maintain their wardrobe. There are people who, when their parents die or when their children die, they dispose the clothes. If you like, maintain the wardrobe. You can even be washing the clothes and maintaining them there, because when you do that, even for example your child, you feel their presence, you feel like they're still there. So you'll feel pain in the beginning, but later the pain eases, because you feel like they're just part of your life. Okay, so do something that they loved doing. If it was if you are a man and your dad loves certain kind of suits, this is the time that you make those suits, you wear them. You can even wear his clothes, and when you do that, you feel their presence as part of him. Okay, so that is step number 3. So let me just look back at what is remaining that I had just I've written it down so that I give you everything. Another funny thing that you can do is write a letter. Okay, because this is what I will do. I will write a letter addressing to my loved one, and then I will read that letter. Okay, once I read it, when you're writing it, you cry. When you reread it, you break down. Yeah, you break down, because because when you're writing, you're just pouring your heart. When you're reading, you are understanding the contents of your heart, you are understanding the pain. So once you finish crying, once you've broken down and you're done, take the letter and burn it. Okay, so write a letter, address it to them, write it in good handwriting, buy an envelope. Once you've address the letter, read it. If you have the courage of putting it in an envelope, you can. If you don't feel like burning it, it's all right. You can keep those letters. One time you'll be reading them. Once the pain has eased, you'll be feeling better, because the problem is we always feel the pain of losing our loved one, but we have no one to tell. You know, you can't sit someone down and tell them, you know, if my mom was here, you know, my mom would be doing this and this. If my dad was here, my dad will be doing this and this. If my daughter was here, my daughter would be doing this and this. So they will never understand. But when you tell your child, when you write a letter to your child, you write a letter to your spouse, you write a letter to your parent, they will, you know, you understand what you feel. You speak to yourself, you know, you heal yourself. Because the problem is, only you and God can heal you, unfortunately. Another human being can't. They can't. Despite the love that they give you, you always find a way to slip back and feel the pain. So please, don't put anybody into trouble. You know, do it yourself first. Then God will find you along the way and finish the work. You know, once the Lord sees the step of faith that you are made, He will come and complete the process. So another thing that you should do is write a letter to them, address it to them, and then dispose. Another thing is set alone time with God. You know, you can set days that you fast, you know, days that you feel overwhelmed about, you know, when you remember them too much, you can call off at work and just be at home and you know, cry, read your Bible, you know, talk to God. Create time for God. Create personal time with God. Even when you feel too much pain, create personal time. You don't need to do things when you feel so broken. You don't need to go to work and cry. You know, if you have leaves, take off. You know, take off and be at home. If you are a student, you know, and you feel a lot of pain, you know, you can say you're sick, because indeed you are sick. That is emotional sickness. Tell the teacher you are sick, remain in the dormitory, remain in the hostels, and cry and pray and worship. Listen to worship that heal your heart. You know, read verses that heal your heart. Talk to God in your prayer. Break down. Create personal time for yourself with God. Okay? Another way that you can do is accept that life has to move on. Life has to move on. Yeah. You don't kill yourself. Don't think about suicide. Life has to move on, because life outside is moving on. If you spend time being bitter, you'll be destroying your relationships with your life, with your own hands. Because you can, for example, if you have lost a spouse, along the way you can find, you know, another person who is willing to love you. But because you're feeling the pain and you're feeling maybe guilty that you'll not be able to be in a good relationship with them, you cannot sustain the relationship, or you're just feeling like you still need to live in the presence of the late, you know, accept that life has to move on. If you find life, ride with it. If you find love, ride with it. If you have lost a spouse and you find someone who is willing to love you and walk the path of, you know, of mourning your loved one with you, you know, ride with it. Don't waste your time. If you have lost, you know, a fiance, if you find someone who is ready to love you, be loved. Allow yourself to be loved. If you've lost a parent and you find a caregiver who loves you so much, allow yourself to be loved. If you lost a parent and you find a caregiver who is able to take, if you're young and is able to take you to school, pay your fees, you know, even if they've grabbed your parents' property, but they're taking you to school, be patient, be kind to them, tolerate. They're not your parents. The little they do for you, understand, love and appreciate. It is only for a short period of time. Before you know it, you'll also be a parent. You will get to live with orphans. Okay? If it is a child, you know, accept that life has to move on. You'll have to give birth to another one. This one is not going to come back. The problem with us people who have lost loved ones is that we always think that they're going to come back. They are never going to come back. Just accept that death has happened, they have been buried, and they are never going to come back. Okay? So if the inside of you're still wishing they would, get it from me, because I know I have to emphasize it, because for me, I understand that someone has to emphasize that to you so that you get it, because your heart is deceiving you that, one day, there's a way the heart lies to you that they will come back. They're never going to come back. Life has to continue. You have to go to school if you're young. You have to live with people now who are not your parents. You have to love them, okay? Or if you can't love them, you have to tolerate them. You are going to fall in love now. You don't have to go and look for your father in a man. A man will not be your father. Your father died, okay? Your father died, the man is not your father. If your man and your mom died, don't go looking for that your mother in someone's daughter. Your mom died, okay? So it's that painful, but you have to deal with it. Life has to move on. If you had just one child, you are barren, and you're barren, or maybe you had reached menopause after giving birth to that child and they passed, accept that now they're not going to come back. You can resort to adoption. You can take care of someone's child. Accept that they're not going to come back, and you are still alive, and life has to continue. You have to still wake up and make your house. You have to dress up and go to work. You have to, bathe and take care of your body. You have to eat and be healthy. You have to pray and draw close to God, because it doesn't matter whether your parent or your child has died, Jesus Christ is still coming back for you. So you gotta prepare, okay? So it's that serious. So I have told you, I don't know whether anything else is remaining, but I have told you the things I have done. I have written letters, read them and destroyed, okay? I have made portraits, kept them in my room to just, remember the moments that we shared and appreciate them. Number 3, I have done something, I do something they love. Because for me, I run every day. I lift weights because I do that in remembrance of the person I love. And I can't even assume my alarm. Every day I wake up, I do it for the person I loved, and I do it for myself. Because once I do it, I feel so tired. My mind is also tired. The flesh has been dealt with. I don't overthink anymore. I have taken care of myself. Another thing I've told you that I do, I set personal time with myself. Just being in my room alone, just reading my Bible, listening to, gospel-centered worship, because there are different kinds of worship now. There are rap, those can't heal your hearts. You need real kind of gospel-centered songs that talks about the cross and the love of God. Those ones will heal your heart, okay? Create personal time for yourself with God. Another thing that I've told you that I do is I accept that death has happened, and I have to feel the pain. So for the last 20 years, I have given myself to pain. Pain has tossed me up and down, east and west, north and south, side by side. Pain has tossed me. It has toasted me severally. But finally, God has delivered me from the hands of pain. But it was worth it, okay? And then one thing that I need to, conclude with is that no pain is wasted pain. I don't know how to emphasize it. No pain is wasted pain. Because if God did not take me through the pain of a loved one, I would not have the courage to speak to you about how to let go of pain of a loved one, okay? And there are many people who go through several pains, and that pain teaches them a lot, because during pain you are taught perseverance, you are taught tolerance, you are taught how to love yourself, you are taught how to love God and depend on God. So a lot of things happen within you that you never understand. You only come to understand later, because you found very young orphans that they are witty than even very old people. They're witty, their IQ is high, they know how to survive, they are strong, they do manual work that you cannot do yourself. Yeah, so God cannot, give you what you cannot bear, and no pain is wasted pain. And never get tired of sharing about the death of your loved one with people, because sharing is caring. When you share, you heal yourself, okay? And when you share, you don't know who you are healing, because at times you talk about the death of your child with someone who maybe also has lost a child, but they don't have the courage of speaking about it. So when you feel like sharing with a friend or a stranger, share with them, because when you share with them, you don't know who you are helping, and you are also helping yourself, okay? What else do I need to tell you? And accept that life has to move on. Life will move on. And life is beautiful. Imagine, life is beautiful because there are people who have lost their spouses and gotten even better spouses later. Imagine, there are people who have lost their parents and gotten even better caregivers, maybe who didn't have children themselves, and they loved them more than their parent would have loved them. They loved them even more than, they provided for them more than their parents could. Okay, so and like an orphan, for example, has a lot of privileges than someone who was parents, because when you, for an orphan, when someone hears that you're an orphan, even if it's shown on TV, people are ready to help you. It's opposed as someone who has both parents. For a widow, everybody is ready to help widows, as opposed to someone who has a husband. You can even sleep hungry. Okay, so never think that you're lesser. You are a child of God. God loves you. God created you for a purpose, and every aspect of your life has been written down with God, okay? And God wrote it the way it was supposed to be for His glory. So you lost that child, you lost that spouse, whoever you lost, it was for the glory of God, because God is going to shower you with more love, is going to teach you to depend on Him, and is taking you to greater heights. So don't give up, continue praying. If you have not healed, Cynthia is saying you will heal, okay? You will heal, even though you will not heal completely, because their presence always lives with you, but the pain gets better with time. Okay, so feel free to ask me questions on the comment sections below. And I think that's all. You're welcome to my channel. We will talk more about this topic if you want. Okay, so God bless you. See you for now. Bye.